We'll wait until somebody shows up. Maybe nobody gonna show up. Uh-oh. So far, no one. Come on, tablet. From the WDWL TV multiplex, live from Grumpy Studio, with great anticipation, we bring you the pride of the station. Yes, the grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy disco vulture. Take your bow. Do it nice. Do it nice. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Keep doing it that way. I might let you take the banner off. I said might. Now, back in your corner. Uh-oh, I'm hooked on something. There you go. Look at the camera. All right. Kathy's here. Jenny's here. Okay, trivia. What was the intro music? I got to look up that. I've got it somewhere in one of my tablets. I've got the... What is it? I can't remember which show it's from. I can't remember. Is that from Jeopardy? Is that from... I think it's Jeopardy. I've got it, though. Oh, Kathy got it. Kathy, did you cheat? Did you gargle it? No, you couldn't gargle it because you'd have to play the music. Yeah, Jeopardy theme. I've got it somewhere. It's in one of my... Is it this one? Nah, I think it's the one. I've got two of those Amazon Fire 7 tablets, you know, the small 7-inchers. And yeah, it's tomorrow I've got to go over to Studio One and get it. Or is it this one? Nope, it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. Over in the other studio. I bought, before we get into tonight's bullshit, I bought an Amazon Fire 7 tablet. You know, they're them little 7-inchers. It was on sale, like $49. And I wanted something small for Studio One to put my sound effects in. Well, first of all, Amazon does not have the Play Store because Jeff Bezos don't like Gargle. So the Gargle Play Store is not in an Amazon tablet. Their Play Store sucks. So I was like, oh shit, I got this tablet, I can't use it. Well then, leave it to a grade schooler. I was over at my buddy's house bitching about this tablet. And his grandson comes up from the basement. He says, I overheard you talking. Yeah, okay. You know, you can download Gargle Play Store into your Amazon tablet. I said, Amazon and Gargle are like fire and ice. And he goes, hold on. He comes up with his iPad, shows me the website, how I could download the Google Play Store into my Amazon tablet. I felt like an asshole. So I did. And I was able to access all of the sound effects sites that I originally had in the big tablet. So I get everything all set up. One night, I go to start the show, and the tablet will not connect to my Wi-Fi. I was like, it was connected yesterday, no matter what I did. So I called Amazon. I said, hey, I can't get this damn tablet to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, try this. So I tried that. Didn't work. Okay, try this. I tried that. It didn't work. Finally, a different IT guy came on and he goes, try this. It worked. Whatever. So, it worked for a day. I called the next day. I said, hey, it won't connect again. I don't know what. So they said, we'll send you another tablet, brand new, free of charge. Whoa. I said, well, what about the old one? Keep it. They send me the new tablet. I can connect it to Wi-Fi. I downloaded my Gargle Play Store in the new tablet. 2 days later, I'm over in Studio One screwing around. I'm going, let me see if I can get this tablet to connect to Wi-Fi. Bing! Goes right in. And that was 3 years ago. I've never had a problem with it. So I called Amazon. I said, hey, you want me to pay for this other tablet? And they were like, no, it's yours. So I got two of the, I'll show you one. I just happen to have the, whoop! Oh, I forgot I had that stuff in there. Yeah, it's just a little tablet. They're nice, but you can't really do much with them. You know, like try reading. I downloaded a book in one. I thought I was going to go blind. Even by enlarging the print, it still wasn't much better. So I use them for my sound effects. I quit using the sound effects for a while because people were bitching. You know, if I told a joke that didn't really go over well. I'd throw in a fart sound. People were like, oh, that's disgusting. I thought it was funny. You got one? You got a 7? Or have you got a 10? Because when they did away with the 7, they came out with the 10. You got confused. I get confused a lot. Although I'll tell you what, I felt like a real asshole when my buddy's 11-year-old grandson come up and, here, Mr. Grubby, here's the website. You got a 7? It depends on what you use them for. Me, I find it impossible to read a book. When I got the tablet, I got 5 free books. I downloaded one, and even enlarging the print, to me, it's a pain in the ass. So what I did was I downloaded sound effects websites, and that's what I use them for. And I haven't used them in ages because I had some grumpy people that didn't like sound effects, I'd say something stupid and I'd hit boing, or a couple of fart noises, or I'm going to try them. I'll hook one up one day and we'll see what happens. Where's Nomad tonight? I just noticed he's not here. He didn't tell me he wasn't going to be here. Usually he'll say, I have to do that thing like work. And I'm like, oh, okay. But he didn't. I'm going to try it. I used to go do a whole show, and I had a whole shitload of sound effects. And I would have a good time. But I had a couple of people on Faceplant, you're overdoing the fart noises. Well, the joke bombed. I had explosions and everything, you name it. I would start the show with certain sound effects. I thought they were funny. I come from the days of Laugh-In. If anybody laughed at Laugh-In, they got the point of the show. And then what the hell was that? Oh, there was one show, I swear the host was on fucking drugs every night. He used to wear a goofy hat. Gong Show. That host of the Gong Show had to be snorting coke before he started that show. He was off his rocker. Yeah. I can't remember his name. He made such an impression on me, but anybody that watched that show had to think he was doing drugs. I think he was snorting goddamn cocaine during the commercials. He was I don't know where they found him. Although, you got to look at when, the years that the show was on. The height of the drug years out in California. Yeah, I'm going to do some trivia because you and Kathy are amazing. You guys read my fucking mind. And, that's scary. At one time, I could dance the Charleston. I had to learn it for a play. I'll tell you what. Once you learned it, it was a fun dance to do. But Grumpy is into polkas. Now, I haven't polkaed in probably 25 years, but oh man, you see me on a dance floor, I had golden feet, man. I could polka with the best of them. I miss those days. I know is because the hearse driver worked for the same limousine company I did. And he called me from the church and he said, "You aren't going to believe this." And he held up his cell phone. And I almost fell over. Oh, square dancing is fun. I did that. I tried my hand at it. It's fun. It really is. I enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, we have somewhere in this area a group of old farts like me that meet at some social hall like twice a month and square dance. And I'll tell you what, some of the seniors, oh, they go all out with all the garb. But I tried my hand at it. It's fun. It really is. And you know about square dancing, they say it's a real social dance. Because in some of the square dances, you change partners. It's not like, if you're doing the polka or waltz or foxtrot or something, with a square dance, at times you change partners as you go. I enjoyed it. Matter of fact, the girl I used to square dance with, she decided she didn't want to do it anymore, and I couldn't find another partner. Well, I'm sure I could have. I could have just walked in with a long face and tears in my eyes and went, "I don't have a dance partner." And they'd have fixed me up with somebody. Or a mannequin, "Here, Grumpy, dance with this. We'll put a wig on it." Yeah. Okay. As they were leaving the church with Frankie's casket, as they were coming down the aisle to go to the cemetery, you'll never guess what they did. There were about 20 accordionists. They lined up at the edge of the pews. And as they came down the aisle with pushing the casket, they played "Roll Out the Barrel." I think that priest almost shit himself. Yeah, and they were singing, roll out the barrel, we'll have a barrel, as they're pushing the casket out of church. Because that was one of Frankie's favorites. No, they didn't drop it. But can you imagine being in church, and the church was packed, and all of a sudden at the end of each pew is a guy with an accordion. And I don't think they asked the priest. But as they turned the casket and started to push it out of church, 1, 2, 3, 4, roll out the barrel. Hell of a tribute to Frankie. He probably had a little accordion in the casket with him, playing along. Oh, that was a sick joke. That would have been a fart joke. You would have loved this today. Yeah, I wish I had a GoPro camera today. I go up for smokes. And as I walk in, Mom is sweeping the floor. I mean, they keep this place spotless. Well, little Tyke has a little kid's broom and a little kid's dustpan, and she's sweeping with Mom. They spot me. I should say she spotted me. She runs up to the front of the store, and every customer standing in line, he funny man, he funny. Every customer, she pulling on their jacket. He funny man here. And everybody's turning around looking. I'm like, hey. But yeah. If, she wasn't so goddamn cute. Did we? We lost Kathy? Oh. Yeah. Wonder where she went. Trivia? But if she goes to play trivia, she usually tells us. I'll be in the background listening. And no Nomad tonight. That's interesting. He usually tells him if he's not going to be here. Maybe she got computer or internet problems. Because that's not like her just to pop like that without telling us. Oh, you're the one that plays trivia. Okay. That's another one for the fart noise. I get you two confused. You're the trivia. Okay. Then that means Kathy should be here. Maybe she's got internet problem. Maybe she got a computer problem. I don't know if she's on a laptop, tablet, phone call. Because that's not like her to just disappear. And no neck beard. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting about the time difference. Yeah. He might have sat down in his lazy boy and went out. If he has a lazy boy, I don't know. I was kind of hoping Mears was going to be here tonight. Because I wanted to talk to him. Although today, if you could tell by the title of the show, I watched a lot of sovereign citizen bullshit. As a matter of fact, it was a lot of Van Balen's. Man, that guy, I'll tell you what, it's amazing. He must be on his computer 24/7. Because he beats everybody with the videos. Well, that's, yeah. Yeah, I have to remember. Neckbeard's in England. Nomad's in England. Mears is down under. Yeah, I was watching. I don't know. Do you follow KTZ? When her and KFAR get together and do booze and body cam. Well, they were doing booze and body cam last night. And I was in and out of the studio. And I missed what Mears said. And they were giving him a rash of shit. I wanted to find out what the hell he said, because they just kept constantly. And you know, once KFAR gets down on somebody, he won't give up. And he just kept throwing shit at Mears. So I didn't want to back up the goddamn video. So I was going to ask him what he said that kind of pissed everybody off. I wanted to ask him if he's shitting KFAR's Wheaties. But I was watching a lot of this. Oh, these people are assholes, these sovereign citizens. Do they actually think that the government is eventually going to see things their way? Have no laws. You don't need license plates. You don't need a driver's license. You don't need car insurance. And, they cherry pick this bullshit. Oh, I have the right to travel. Well, yes, you do. On foot, or on a bus, or on a bicycle, in a wagon. You just can't do it in a car or a truck. And they constantly pull this bull. I have the right to travel. Well, yes. Let your fingers do the walking through the yellow pages. Read the ads. Learn the facts. Find it fast. How many of you remember that slogan, huh? Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what. I am finally happy to see a lot of these judges cut these people off right at the neck when they start the jurisdiction bullshit. And what court are we in? What law? Maritime? Do you see a fucking freighter out front? No, it's not maritime. And then they give them that shit about the gold edging on the flag. Well, that's a maritime flag. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, Judge Fleischer had his first sovereign citizen. And he turned to the prosecutor and he went, I've been waiting for a day like this. And he told the guy, all right, go ahead, say what you want to say. And then Fleischer just cut him off. Oh, you know, I get the goddamn spell check on my phone. And sometimes it just drives me crazy. I'll be doing a text, and I want to say a certain thing, and it keeps correcting me. And it just drives me insane. You try to type a text message, no, Well, at least you're not on a tablet. I tried typing on my tablet. I finally ended up buying a keyboard because I just cannot type on a glass screen. Did you go into your settings? Because if you've got Windows 7 and above, a lot of times if you go into settings, I can't remember what you click something and it will fix it for you. Because my laptop goes in and out every now and then. Although my laptop is as old as Methuselah, I got a Toshiba satellite. Although I'll tell you what, I bought that brand new. I think I paid $800 for it. And that thing is amazing. That laptop has never let me down. Now it's starting to, because it's getting up in age. And I hate to give it up. Oh, God, I hate to give it up. I bought I'll bring it in tomorrow. It's a mount for your laptop, and it's got a cushion underneath it so that you can rest it on your lap. And then it's got a fan to keep your laptop cool. And I love that thing. Grandma was negotiating a computer? Ah, damn, good for her. If right now you could bring, like, your grandparents back or your parents back, they would be lost today. They would be in utter awe. Especially if you had a laptop connected to Wi-Fi and you were going around the house, like, ain't got no wires hooked to it. How the hell's that thing working? They'd be in shock. God, I'll tell you how resistant my grandfather was in his hardware store. He had the old giant cash register where if you wanted to put in $1.20, you had to use 3 fingers. 120, and it had a crank on the side. No electricity. And it was huge. And it weighed as much as a Volkswagen. I would have loved to have that cash register today. But he wouldn't buy an electric. Nope. I'll tell you what amazed me. My buddy's grandmother never touched a computer in her life. And a friend of hers bought an iPad. And she was so fascinated with it, she told my buddy, take me out to the Apple store. Well, we got an Apple store out in Westlake. Out in Westlake. I can't remember. Something Commons. The place is a pain in the ass to get in and out of, but they went. Now, she was 94 years old and didn't look it. She looked like she was 70. And she went in the Apple store and she said, I want one of them pad things. So the guy brings one out. He said, you want me to show you how to work it? She said, no. Because she was kind of embarrassed, you know. No. Gets it home, and iPads don't have instructions. And it was amazing. She figured out how to turn it on and how to use it at 94. It was unbelievable. Yeah, you've heard me enough. I miss my grandfather. Oh my God, do I? A day doesn't go by I don't think about him. And he passed away in 73 or 74. But I'll tell you what was cool about him. And if you've watched some of my past shows, when the Mustangs came out, he bought a 64 Mustang, and it was a strip out. A stick 6, didn't even have a radio. He had it 4 years. And he went out to the dealer, and if you knew the way they bought cars, so it was 1968. They go out to the dealer, and they walk in, and they sit down. And my grandmother scans the showroom. Come on, Joe. Nothing here. So they get up and they start to leave. And the salesman was like, where are you going? Oh, we'll be back. There's nothing here. Now, the showroom was full of goddamn cars. So they come back 2 weeks later. They walk in and sit down. And my grandmother's like, come on, Joe. Okay. Out they go. A couple weeks later, they're back for the third time now. So they come in and they sit down, and the salesman walks over. My grandmother's like, Joe, that one, the green one. He turned to her and said, really? Yeah, the green one. In the back over there. He didn't know what it was. But it was another Mustang. A lime green metallic. That's how they bought cars. My grandmother would, no, nothing today. Because in 64 was metallic gold. Well, this time, they had no idea what it was. It was over in the other side of the showroom. So they walked over, and it was a Mustang. A Mustang GT. Laid out. And the salesman went, oh, you want this one? And my grandmother's like, yeah. He said, it's a GT. My grandmother turns to him and goes, now wait a minute. Is it a Mustang or is it a GT? Well, it's a Mustang GT. Don't give me that bullshit. What is it? Mustang or a GT? Well, it's a Mustang. Okay. We'll take it. So, one day, there was some evening church. I don't know what it was. And all the ladies are sitting around. And one of the ladies says to my grandmother, I hear you guys bought a new car. Yeah. It's Joe's upstairs. It's out in the parking lot. Well, what is it, Mary? It's a GT. Now, she hated this GT shit. She tells the lady friend, it's a GT. What's a GT, Mary? It's out in the parking lot. It's lime green. It's a GT. So, a couple of the ladies get up, they walk out in the parking lot, and they come back in, they said, oh, Mary, it's a Mustang. It's a GT. It's GT all over it. On the hubcaps, GT. On the back end, GT. It's a GT. But Mary, it's a Mustang GT. What'd I say? It's a GT. But when the salesman, I don't know, we never figured out how all of a sudden she went from being pissed off that it was a GT, you know, give the salesman a bunch of shit. Is it a Mustang or is it a GT? What is it? And then he said, well, Mary, it's a Mustang GT. Don't give me that shit. What is it? What's a GT? It's a Mustang, Mary. It's a Mustang. Okay. We'll take it. And then she tells all of her friends in church, it's a GT. I think she liked the GT emblems that were in the middle of the hubcaps. I don't know. But I felt sorry for the salesman because they come in to buy a car and she just looks around. Come on, Joe. Ain't nothing here. That's the way they bought a car. If that color would have been on a dump truck, they'd have bought it because it was lime green and she liked the color. And my grandfather would just sit there. You see anything, Mary? No. Come on, let's go. But because after they bought it, they left the dealership and they came over to show it off, show my father what they bought. And I'm standing out, we walk out, car's parked in front of the house. And he says to my grandmother, I said, holy shit. Well, I didn't say that. I was like, oh, crap. You got a Mustang GT. And my grandmother, it's a Mustang. Don't give me that GT shit. Okay, Grandma, okay. Then a couple weeks later, she's telling everybody, it's a GT. I would love to have that car. A 68 Mustang GT, big V8. The only problem is it was an automatic. And that was strange because my grandfather never bought automatics. He liked his clutch, But Grandma liked the color, and they were going home with that car, period. But most of the time, my grandmother was the type. She wouldn't say shit if she had a mouthful, and I'll never forget the shit like, don't give me that shit. It's a Mustang. And then she tells everybody in church, it's you can't miss it. It's a GT. And they were asking her, what's a GT, Mary? Thinking that it was a brand of car, Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, GT, Volkswagen. It's lime green. And then the ladies come in. Well, Mary, it was a Mustang. It's a GT. I felt sorry for her lady friends. Oh, my God. Oh, Mustang GT. My sister, too. And she works at Ford. So I'm sure when she gets tired of her Ford Edge, there'll be a GT in her garage. And the sad thing is, she don't know how to drive stick. And there's nothing more boring than to get a hot rod and it's got a fucking automatic. True story. My buddy's daughter graduated college, and she needed a car because she got a job. All right, Kathy, my kind of woman driving a pickup truck. All right. So, my buddy's daughter has a friend drop her off at the Ford dealer. And she wanted a Mustang. And she wanted a manual. So, there happened to be, what the hell was that one? It wasn't a GT, Boss 302. There was a Boss 302 in the showroom, and it had a manual in it. So she said to the salesman, can we take that for a test drive? And he was like, Yeah, of course. He pops a dealer tag on it, and they're out driving around. And the salesman says to her, "Do you want to drive it?" And she was like, no. Okay. So they come back to the dealership and they do all the paperwork. She buys the goddamn car. Oh, that's going to be a pricey job. Pads, rotors, calipers. So she buys this Boss 302 and she says to the salesman, now it's ready to go, temporary tag on it. Can you take me up to the shopping center? And he was like, yeah. They go up to the shopping center and she said, can you teach me how to drive it? And he looked at her and she goes, I don't know how to drive a manual. Now, mind you, she buys this thing. So he gave her a quick lesson. And of course, when it was her turn, what took? Well, you're getting off cheap at $800. Friend of mine just had to put brakes all the way around on his, what the hell's he got? Lincoln Nautilus. It's a SUV. $2,700. I was like, holy shit. So she finally somewhat masters how to come out of first gear without leapfrogging it. And then on the way home, she got pretty good because she was driving side streets and practicing from the stop signs where nobody was around. And she come home with the car, and she pulls in the driveway. And, of course, out come her mother and her father. Ah! And he looked in the car and he went, Beverly, how did you get this car here? It's a manual. You don't... She goes, I learned. Go in and buy a car and not know how to drive it. And she mastered it. I felt sorry for that clutch, but she finally mastered it. Almost time for trivia. Okay. Be listening. I'm going to go into boring bullshit anyway. Because after watching a shitload of sovereign citizen videos, I decided to do a little gargling. And it is goddamn amazing how many websites that these people can get sucked in on. And some of the people that are on these websites, I can see how they can get brainwashed into this sovereign citizen bullshit. Some of these guys sounded so convincing, I was almost convinced. And then, we'll send you the packet, and it's only $150 or $200 for the sovereign citizen, and you get your passport and your travel card and all this bullshit. And some of them have a form that you send to the Secretary of State to cancel your driver's license and your registration. So I go on Amazon, and it's amazing. You can get the private plate that says no insurance needed, and it's got the UCC code and everything on it, for anywhere between $12.88 and $29.95. And then they have a traveler plate. This is a different seller. And the plates, now you can get them fancy, or anywhere from $9.90 to $26.69. The biggest seller of these sovereign citizen private plates is La Prima Vittoria, out of the Republic of Moldova. It's right on the Amazon seller. Republic of Moldova. Not even anywhere near here. Making a fortune selling these goddamn license plates. And the traveler plate is, the seller is Gong Cheng out of Sichuan, China. The two biggest sellers on Amazon for these sovereign citizen license plates. But for the packets, the information packets across the United States, and they're anywhere from $150 on up. And it's amazing how many idiots will buy that goddamn packet and get brainwashed to the point where they think it's all legal. They actually believe all that crap. And they look impressive because, oh, they have the Supreme Court cases listed, and of course everything's all cherry-picked, you know. The decision will be 8 paragraphs, and it's condensed down to 2. And, of course, it's all aimed at the sovereign citizen, not against. I was shocked. There went my... Dropped my stylus. I was just blown away going on Gargle, and it's website after website after website after website. And there were a couple of them that were impressive. Professionally done websites, and all the information got, you know, the guy had a special seal made up, you know, approved by such and such.com, you know. And I counted at least 50. At least 50 different websites. And there were more. And then, like I say, Amazon, one of the biggest sellers of these private and traveler license plates. And neither seller is in America. One in China and one in the Republic of Moldova. And then, you know, you got the radical sovereigns that form militias. those are the scary ones. There was one a couple years ago that their vehicle broke down on the freeway. And they were armed to the teeth. And, the camo gear and everything. And they're getting out of the car and they got, AK-47s over their arm. And you're traveling like that? And then they had a standoff with the goddamn state troopers. And the troopers finally arrested them, but traveling down the freeway like an army militia. Those are the scary ones. Because those are the ones that have given several law enforcement officers dirt naps. Although, you go into Polk County, Grady Judd gives you a dirt nap. Yeah, there was one recently. The guy opened fire on his deputies. And Grady said, "We offed him dead. He got his wish." And he invites him, "Come on down. Come mess with our deputies here. We'll give you what you want." There was one young kid in his early 20s. His mother had him brainwashed. Oh, God. And the police encountered him in a parking lot, and he had no plates on the car. So they go up, and they're talking to him. And, they put the window down like an inch. And the officer said, you don't have any plates on your car. He goes, "Well, I don't need any." And then the sovereign bullshit came out, So they told him, "Step out of the car." He's like, "No, I don't have to step out of the car." And they said, "Step out of the car." And he's like, "No, I'm not getting out of the car." They said, "Well, if you don't get out of the car, we're going to take you out of the car." And he was like, "I'm not getting out of the car." Well, they did the old window break, and they reached in to grab him, and he pulled a bang-bang. And 4 officers retaliated with theirs and gave the kid a dirt nap. And his mother sued everybody. You talk about an indoctrinated sovereign citizen. Yeah, she sued everybody. The city, everybody. The mayor, right down to the janitor, the police chief, right down to the janitor. Of course, she didn't get anywhere. But her kid, in his, early 20s was he indoctrinated? Holy shit. And they all quote Black's Law Dictionary. One of these days, I'm going to buy one. I'm going to go on Amazon, used book section, because I'm frugal, wise, and cheap. Just to read one. I want to see what the fascination is with Black's Law Dictionary. Because 90% of the shit that they quote in that isn't even law. Talk about a guy that is making a ton of money and half the shit in his goddamn dictionary is bullshit. Oh, not too long ago, that was another thing I wanted to bring up to Mears. Down in Australia, they had a group of sovereign citizens that literally ambushed the police officers when they showed up at their house. The word got out that they were coming to arrest one of the group. And when the police showed up, they picked them right off. There were 3 officers that showed up. And I think 2 of them got the dirt nap. And then the female officer, she got wounded and she survived. But yeah, they ambushed them. They never knew what hit them. They had a ranch or something. They pulled in, and they were waiting for them. So it's not just here in America. These idiots are everywhere. And most of them are somewhat harmless, but the radicalized ones, those are the ones that scare the shit out of me. But for the hell of it, in the search bar, go into Amazon and put in, what did I search? Was it private plates, or I think I searched sovereign citizen license plates, and it comes up a fucking page full. Now, it's only like 3 sellers, but there's a whole page. Private plates, black on white, white on black, traveler plates, and the 2 big ones are this guy in China and this woman, I think woman, La Prima Vittoria, in the Republic of Moldova. And they're making a fortune. Because some of the sites that sold out, you know. But yeah, Amazon. Of all places, Amazon. I didn't bother to check eBay. I'll have to check eBay later on, or tomorrow. But I had heard that Amazon was one of the biggest sellers of these private plates. Yeah, it was interesting. After watching the videos, I decided, let me see what these packets are like. And yeah, the one that was like $300. You got your travel card and your phony passport and all your mumbo jumbo handout shit. I just can't see some of these people being that brainwashed that they gladly spent $300. The weather popped up on the bottom of my screen. I was like, what the hell's popping up now? Saying it's 67 degrees out. Although it was nice and warm today. Really, well, somewhat. It's got to be a little warmer for Grumpy. Because I'm always cold. And then the damn tablets. I'm going to have to, I keep saying I'm going to do that music transfer. I'm having a problem with the USB charging plug. I had the tablet plugged in all night and it didn't charge. Well, it's charging slowly. It was at 13%. Now it's at 33%. But I think the plug is worn out. Although the damn tablet's 15 years old. Of course, now it's giving me a hard time. I think it's that time. We know where right here, WDWL TV, 7 p.m. I've been getting good at it. Well, since I put that timer right there, it keeps me on my toes. And with that, I appreciate everybody being here. And we will meet again right here tomorrow night. And everybody have a good rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you tomorrow. And with that,